This lovely ship of mine has seen better days. Being out in the black this long has given her some wear and tear, but we just call it war paint. The weave leg business has slowed down a little bit, but that's no problem. I have a brand new job lined up. In fact, I think that's my new boss right there. And don't worry, this Nostromo lookalike doesn't have any extra passengers on board. I was told it was fumigated for Xenos last week. And my boss's first impression of me was seeing me jump into the vacuum of space with no helmet and surviving. I think I'm off to a great start. Safely on board, our Captain Brainspace showed me where I could change and give me a little live demonstration of what I would be doing. His current claw pilot showed me the 2 buttons I had to press to basically print infinite credits. And with that, he got out of the seat, and I got comfy. The crew was ready to get salvaging. The buffer was empty, and we had a full tank of Quantum and a few lucrative cleanup contracts that would fill it right up. Our first contract was out in the gas clouds, past the Grange points, and we had to double check this A2 to make sure there was no illicit cargo, something to kind of pat our pockets a little bit. But after the spacewalk, it's my turn. My job is simple: break the ship into little pieces and break those little parts down into precious recycled materials. The cargo hold boys move fast. We can barely finish our first munching, and they have this A2 packed neatly into organized boxes. And don't get used to this OCD dreamland. It'll be chaos here very shortly. So that was a pretty long jump to Yella. Let's check in on our cargo hold. Oh my god, you guys have been busy. And this is our second catch of the day, a sweet hammerhead. Now, I'm used to these guys putting holes in my hull, so breaking them down to a molecular level is just so satisfying for me. And just one of those hammerheads can fill up an entire hopper, which puts Faded to work instantly. Thankfully, he's pretty fast. Because by the time we get to our next target, the buffer is empty, and it's ready to be filled up all over again. Now's a pretty good time to introduce you to the Fortuna Repriere. If I butcher that name, I'm sorry. I am an uncultured freelancer, not an Italian scholar. But from what I can tell from the internet, the name fits here. The Fortune Gatherer is basically what the name is, and I like it. It's fitting because that's exactly what we're doing. Every ship we break down is about 2 million-ish worth of credits, which is kind of nuts. Our buffer was getting full and our box boy was falling behind, so our captain left their seat and headed to help out. I was getting bored at staring at Yella as well, so I chose to take a tour of our cargo bay, and wow, they have been extremely busy. Slash and I needed to head to the cockpit together, but I just decided to take the fast way down, and I'm glad I chose this way, because I narrowly avoided this giant OSHA violation.
Box. Oh no! No!
Oh, Jesus! You can't force me to write a report in the deep black of space. It was just a little concussion anyway. He'll walk it off. That buffer was empty now anyway, so it was time to get back to pressing my buttons. And I just have to say, it's a very hard life being a claw operator on a reclaimer. All day, I extend the claw, munch the ship, retract the claw, repeat. And nobody respects how hard I work. The blood, sweat, and tears I pour into extending that claw, whatever. But it's all okay. The view is worth the sacrifices I make. But on a more positive note, say hi to our secret weapon, a Scotsman in an SRV. He's been cleaning up the verse as well. He's been dragging these hammerheads away from danger and into our claw for most of the night. He's pretty fast at his job, so this is the only shot I was actually able to get of him. Thank you for your services. The last time we checked up on our cargo crew was 2 hammerheads ago, and oh my god, things have changed. Yes, those are bits and pieces of hammerhead just chilling on the catwalk. I can't judge, I'm just the claw guy. Our cargo bay was absolutely stacked right now. We could cram more in there, but we would be boxing Faded in, and we're on the verge of a cease work order anyway. So it's time to sell. And Orison is the closest place we can park and sell right now. As we are going in, I have to say, it is strange to sell legal cargo for the first time ever. I'm used to mountains of maize and piles of weevil eggs, but here we are, parking at Orison and becoming a millionaire legally. Now, I don't know if you have ever flown a reclaimer or any big ship for that matter, but if you have, you know how scary it could be to park one of these behemoths. Once gravity and momentum take over, it can be very difficult to control. So the fact that the landing was nearly flawless is a sight to behold. With the crew back together again, we make our way to sell these illegally gotten gains. This poor guy at the counter looks very jealous of our reclaimer full of goodies, and while he's making minimum wage space bucks, we just split 8 million credits 4 ways. Not a bad start to our salvaging journey. With the sun rising above Orison, we all took some time to chill and re-up on some supplies. But I felt like it was time for an outfit change. So I went for the hard worker aesthetic. Even though this is the cleanest work suit I've ever seen, I still give off I worked in a salvage hold once kind of vibe. The reclaimer is empty, but our wallets are full, yet the night is still young, and we aren't done turning someone's bad day into our big payday. Plus, we had a goal to make this the biggest payout yet. So while we're leaving the comfort of Orison, I paid a visit to our gravity generator. It doesn't look like much, but it's a great source of vitamin D. Yeah, my skin might tingle a little bit after, but these long days out in space, well, the supplements don't work like they used to anymore. After my mini radiation bath, it was time for me to warm up the claw and get to work. We're working overtime today, but it'll all be so worth it. We got our work down to a science. We spent less time planning the snacking job and just went crazy with putting boxes anywhere they would fit. Brainspace spent a lot of time crafting 8 SCU boxes and shoving them in the downstairs storage, while Faded continued to create his best masterpiece yet. We chose to make a random stop at Wake of Disaster. Once we got here, we just wanted to see if there were any larger ships that had anything interesting in their cargo bays. Any eggs or maize would compromise our hull, but hey, it'd be worth the insane profits. The cap doesn't stop working after the spacewalk. Faded was getting a bit buried in boxes, so he went down to help out. We've been scrapping and munching our hearts away while they've been down there stuffing boxes wherever they can fit. With the cap back in their seat, we are ready to sell again. This time, no concussions were reported. I have been loving my time on board the Reclaimer. Having a crew that's doing something other than manning turrets and blowing up people has been refreshing. Kind words aside, let's wrap up this adventure. We sold a lot of RMC back at Orison, basically filled up their entire stock. So there was no way that they would want even more, which is why we're selling an ArcCorp now. One flawless landing later, we made our way over to the hologram mommy to sell what we had. It wouldn't be a successful sale if we didn't make one of the employees at least a little bit confused and jealous. So after 2 complete sales of a Reclaimer full of salvage, I walked away with around 5 million credits to burn. The last sale marked the end of our employment together. Brainspace gave me a gold star with my last paycheck, so I think I might get hired back the next time he needs help. I'll be sure to bring my hard hat and a big tractor beam next time. Thank you all so much for watching my video all the way through to the end. And if you haven't already, please do all the basic YouTube stuff. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. And also a special shout out to all my channel members for making this video possible. You are all legends and I appreciate you very much. Also, please check our Discord for this little contest that we're running. Should be a good time. A good way to kind of wrap up the year. But if you don't excuse me now, I've been working real hard. So I'm just going to find a nice little corner to sleep in and wait for the next contract to slide into my mobiGlas.